Hello everyone, it's a delight to be back in front of all of you. Trust you're doing great, and I welcome you all on the Merit Shine channel for another very important video, especially in the context of things right now. With one of the most important exams due for its phase 2 in just around a couple of weeks time, this video is going to focus on the last mile as far as the RBI Grade B phase 2 exam is concerned. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So at the outset, a huge congratulations to all those of you who had been putting a lot of hard work for both phase 1 as well as phase 2 and managed to clear the first hurdle, that is phase 1. So congratulations, thoroughly deserved, and keep going in the same momentum. It's important that you not lose momentum at this stage. The next 2 weeks are going to be extremely crucial and you cannot let this momentum go away. So keep working hard as you've already been doing, and this session is going to help you further to hone your preparation as well. Now, the next important aspect or segment that I want to discuss, and my heart especially goes out to them, is the ones who were really preparing hard for phase 2, put in their heart and soul into it, but for some reason on the D-Day could not crack phase 1, right? Happens to the best of the people in the world, but it's important that you take this in your stride, identify objectively what exactly went wrong, and start focusing on the next steps. It's important that you look at this as an individual miss or an individual failure. It does not define you as a person, right? As they keep saying, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down, which means you're going to fight back and you're going to learn from this and rise even higher, right? Remember the phoenix from Harry Potter? They rise from the ashes and grow again. And that's the way you have to focus. That's the way you have to get out of this. So understand this, that it's not a question of if, but it's a question of when. So you will succeed, but it's only a matter of time when success eventually comes to you, right? So keep persisting, keep working hard till that time. Now coming to the third category, the students who were not necessarily preparing that well for phase 2 and still managed to clear phase 1. Fantastic achievement, huge efforts put in from your side, and trust me, this is the most important time for you to believe in yourself. There cannot be a bigger and a better opportunity for you to crack the RBI Grade B exam. An increase in the number of vacancies, a change in the pattern, also some changes in the syllabus, right? I'm sure that there will be some doubts in your mind that I haven't cracked many other exams. How am I going to crack probably one of the most difficult exams ever there? But it's not time for these kind of thoughts. What it requires right now is some amount of positivity, some amount of energy, and ensuring that you give it absolutely everything over the next 2 weeks, because this is a golden opportunity that you simply cannot let go. Now let's understand, why is this a golden opportunity, right? Because of the fact that phase 1 turned out to be the way it was, and it turned out to be a little unexpected than what many were thinking. What happens now is a lot of those serious aspirants who were really preparing hard for phase 2 are suddenly not in the equation, which means that this presents a fantastic opportunity for those of you who have made it to the second round to grab the opportunity with both hands and ensure your success. What's important at this stage is to carry on that self-belief that if you can crack phase 1, you can definitely manage to crack phase 2 and the interview stage as well. It's important at this stage to embrace the change in the pattern, accept it wholeheartedly rather than getting scared by it. A lot of your competition today, there is a very high likelihood that they will be scared of this change in pattern, and because of that they may not be able to give out their best performance as far as the D-Day is concerned. And that is where this could be a game changer for you. This change in pattern, this new syllabus that has been brought in, if you are prepared, if you are having that self-belief, if you're focused over the next 2 weeks and work hard with perseverance, trust me, it is definitely doable even at this juncture. All it requires is proper planning and a methodical approach of looking at each and every aspect of the syllabus. So one thing is for sure, there are 2 options in front of you. One is flight, which means run away from the situation, and the second one is stay on and fight, right? If you've cleared phase 1, trust in your instincts, trust in your ability that there is something in you which is going to allow you to clear the second phase as well. So we are not going to flight, but we're going to fight. That's important. Another key aspect to understand here is that if I look at phase 2 as the sky, then phase 1 is the plane or the vehicle that gets you there, right? If you spend so much amount of time on phase 2, preparing, working really hard and putting in those long hours day in and day out, but somehow manage to not clear phase 1, then the entire phase 2 preparation will now have a future payoff. Why future payoff? Because this cycle you won't be able to even appear for phase 2 because you could not clear phase 1. Well, this knowledge and this understanding will definitely come in handy in the next attempt. But what I'm trying to highlight here is that clearing phase 1 is equally important and has to be given the due attention it deserves. So from that perspective, there will be a detailed session that Abhishek sir will be conducting to make you understand the latest developments as far as phase 1 is concerned and how the preparation can be tweaked from that standpoint, and how do we ensure that we clear the first hurdle while we are preparing for the second hurdle as well, right? So that's something which will be discussed, and a lot of you had reached out to us from that perspective as well. So that is a session that Abhishek sir will be conducting to address that particular aspect specifically. So when I talk about embracing the pattern change, it is not something that is extremely difficult, especially if you're someone who's understood concepts, understood fundamentals, and built on your notes on that, right? And have practiced questions on that basis. It becomes a lot more easier in that sense. And that's exactly what we've been doing in all our sessions across the platforms, be it on YouTube, be it for our students, wherein we've always focused on understanding fundamentals and concepts, and also built it further from there in terms of looking at the whys, the hows, the when and the wheres, and ensure that a topic gets covered holistically, so that descriptive writing itself does not become a challenge from that standpoint when a topic is covered in this kind of a manner. And especially when we look at the kind of sessions we've done for descriptive writing as well, it just hones your preparation that much more. So it's important that you don't get scared by this pattern change. And if you're someone who's concentrated on your fundamentals and concepts, it will not be something that will be too difficult for you. All it requires is a structured and a methodical approach to follow, which is what I'll be addressing in the subsequent slides. And for our students, we've been basically conducting different types of sessions from a revision standpoint, which kind of covers multiple aspects and regular discussion in the forum as well. So that is something which has definitely helped our students. And from your standpoint, what we will be looking to do is to definitely open the first mock test of ours so that you get a thorough understanding of the kind of questions that could possibly come, and how do you look at analyzing a particular mock, and how do you basically ensure to derive the maximum learnings out of it. So that is something which we will be opening for you shortly. And the other angle to look at is that we'll also be looking to conduct a lot of sessions for you in the coming time so that we can help you prepare for this particular important phase as far as the RBI phase 2 exam is concerned. Another critical angle to look at is basically being smart and sensible in your preparation, because there's going to be a lot of information that's available for you to consume and not enough time to consume such information. So you have to be very choosy in what you need to do over the next 15 days and ensure that you stick to a proper plan. Otherwise, everything can go haywire, right? That's very, very crucial. Now, when I say smart, when you're looking at picking up a plan, stick to that plan holistically without deviating from it, and not getting tempted by reading this also, and that also, and that will just lead to confusion and you'll not be able to recollect or remember anything. So focus and stay on that path. That's very, very crucial. So just for example, when I talk about current affairs, you cannot go on reading every single thing that has appeared over the last 6 months. You've got to pick and look at news which has actually made an impact and also has some kind of a conceptual thought process behind it. For example, when I talk about the latest SEBI regulation which talks about the perpetual bonds and the cap in terms of the funds using them, and also the perpetual bonds having a maturity period of 100 years. So all these are elements which basically prompted the finance ministry to get back to SEBI and say that they should probably look at withdrawing that particular angle in terms of valuation, because it could have ramifications and repercussions on the overall market as well. So these are the things that purely, if I look at the news, it just says that SEBI caps fund exposures to perpetual bonds, but it is beyond that, right? It has serious market implications. So you need to understand the underlying concept behind this as well, because that is how you'll be able to showcase your ability in terms of understanding concepts and applying them as well. So that is crucial, because the interlinkages in terms of the static concept versus the application from a general knowledge standpoint or current affairs standpoint, that becomes very, very crucial. And that's extremely relevant, not just from the perspective of your descriptive answers, but will also help you extremely in preparing for your interviews as well. So that is the way in which you need to hone your preparation, and the approach has to be smart rather than keep reading and not remembering things at all. So a structured, focused and non-deviating preparation is needed for the next 15 days. If you can stick to it, you'll be able to reap rich rewards. Okay, so let's begin by understanding what is required from a management standpoint over the next 15 days. So first thing when you look at it is, of course, you have to look at it from the own notes in terms of revising whatever notes that you've made so far. And of course, if you're a serious aspirant, you would have definitely made your notes by now. So spending around 1.5 to 2 hours a day over the next 6 to 7 days should be a good enough time for you to revise from your own notes. Now, the other angle to look at is, if you're someone who's not made your own notes by this time, then of course you have to look at the syllabus that has been given, that has been prescribed, look at the important topics and look at covering them as well. And from this standpoint, you can definitely take help of the sessions that we've basically conducted on the Merit Shine Turbo series, and that can definitely help you in this aspect as well. Now, the second important methodology of preparation is to basically look at taking your mock tests, and you should definitely look at taking at least 6 to 7 mock tests. And the way to approach this at this point in time is that you basically look at the mock test related questions and you start revising concepts in terms of what questions have appeared in a particular mock. You go back to that relevant topic, pick out that concept, understand it, and also look at some of the options that are given, and basis those options, understand those topics as well. So it's sort of a reverse methodology that is being deployed, but the thing is, this is probably a better strategy to approach considering the amount of time that is left with us, right? So you have to take mock tests. One, it obviously helps you prepare from a testing environment standpoint, gets you prepared from that sense, and also parallelly helps you revise concepts and fundamentals as well. What we will be doing for you, we will basically be looking to do an open mock analysis. You can definitely watch it and obviously do accordingly for the rest of the mocks that you will be taking. So that is the way you need to approach as far as the mock preparation is concerned. Next, as far as the new topics are concerned, be it ethics and organizational behavior, you'll obviously have to pick up the concepts from any credible source and obviously the possible questions that can be asked based on those concepts. And that is something which you'll have to work on. So we've already done that for our enrolled students in terms of giving them the complete concepts and fundamentals as far as the new topics are concerned, and the questions that could be asked from that standpoint. You'll probably have to look at it from your source as well and build these concepts on your own. Now, the next thing that will be required is the descriptive answer writing, which is extremely important. So you need to write descriptive answers on different topics. Don't assume that the writing will happen automatically on the day of the exam. It doesn't work that way. You have to spend time on it, right? So you can obviously refer to our descriptive class that we've taken on management on YouTube. This was done by Ratnaba sir, and this will definitely give you an idea in terms of how to proceed as far as descriptive answer writing in management is concerned. Another critical aspect to look at is to self-evaluate your descriptive answers. So while we're doing this in forums for our students wherein we give them feedback on their individual writings, we will be doing a session on YouTube as well wherein we will evaluate, so that based on that session, you can definitely look at picking up other questions and start answering them yourselves, and also look at self-evaluating and finding out where exactly you're writing well and where exactly are you going wrong. And this kind of a holistic preparation as far as management should definitely help you score well in this particular section. Moving on to the next important section, which is basically your ESI, what needs to be done in the next 15 days. So first thing, when I talk about the ESI paper, it can obviously become extremely unpredictable, just like the GK of phase 1. Right? And your objective questions could be fact-based or could be concept-based, whereas your descriptive can be fact-based, concept-based, or even opinion-based, right? So it's important at this juncture that we expose ourselves to various kinds of questions that could be possible. So that's something which we've been doing for our students. Now, when you look at it from an objective standpoint, what exactly needs to be done? Firstly, revise all the basic concepts of economics that have been very clearly mentioned in the syllabus. Ensure that you don't miss out even a single point from that perspective. CA part, which is having relevant social and economics impact, should obviously be read in detail. Next aspect, your schemes as well as your reports and indices, obviously the important ones, should be read in more detail now, right? So we will again guide you on which ones to definitely go through and from where. That's something which we'll definitely share with you guys. And you also need to go through budget and economic survey in detail. That's something which is crucial, especially from the context of phase 2. And we'll also try and do some sessions which will have some objective question types which can come in the ESI section of phase 2, which gives you an idea about covering the CA part as well. Now, also important to focus on solving the objective questions from, let's say, mocks of various test series providers, as that will help in revising your current aspect as well. So this is something which we are doing for our students through our mocks, wherein we are exposing them to different types of questions that could be possible. And that's something which you should look at doing with your respective test series as well. So on that note, we will be opening one mock for everyone tomorrow so that you get a feel. And more importantly, we will also conduct the mock analysis sessions for you to understand how to analyze those kind of mocks and how do you derive the maximum learning out of them. So that's something we will be doing additionally. Now comes another critical angle, how to handle the descriptive portion as far as ESI is concerned. Again, something which you cannot avoid doing is practice writing at least one descriptive answer every single day. Try to incorporate the concepts that have been learned in basic economics lectures, and obviously use the facts that have been learned in your GK sessions to garnish your descriptive answers. So which means you have to definitely look at your interlinkages, identify what are the possible connections that could be there in terms of the concept learned, and using the facts from your general knowledge sessions as well, right? So that becomes very, very important. And we'll also be trying to do a couple of sessions on possible descriptive questions and a couple of model answers for you guys as well. Moving on to the next important aspect, which is basically your finance. What exactly should we do in the next 15 days? So again, the first element, of course, is revision from your own notes if you've obviously made them. And what I'd be saying is basically 2 hours a day over the next fortnight, because finance again brings in multiple angles to it, not just static, but also the current affairs aspects, right? So if you've made your notes, definitely you should look at revising from them. If not, then you should basically look at topic-wise, the topics given, and try and look at getting this information from a lot of credible sources that are there, or maybe refer to the course that you've basically taken and complete your revision from there. Right now, watching videos from scratch is not going to help your overall preparation, because that itself is a time-consuming process. So what you should be looking at doing is to look at quick notes and compendiums to basically ensure that your revision gets completed faster. That's something which we are doing for our students, and you should also look at basically revising from your own notes, and if not, basically look at quickly going through at least those topics from a syllabus perspective from whatever credible source that you can look at. Another very important way to prepare right now, as I said earlier as well, is to basically get a varied exposure to questions, and that is something that is extremely crucial. Now, how do I get a varied exposure to different types of questions? By taking as many mock tests as possible. That's what it's aimed at, as many as possible. Now, the context is that it might not take you too much time in terms of taking mocks, but what's important is the amount of time that you spend in analyzing those mocks. That becomes extremely crucial. So basically, you'll need to look at revising the concepts from the mock test related questions that have appeared. So you look at a particular question, what are the answer options given? Are you aware of all the 5 answer options that have been shown in that particular answer? If not, find out what that particular option means. And at the same time, what was the initial question? What was the concept being tested? Do you understand that concept or not? So those are the avenues where you'll need to spend time, right? Of course, we'll also be doing our own open mock analysis so that you get an understanding of how exactly should I be analyzing my mocks and how do I learn from them, and use that learning, watch that particular session, and accordingly follow that particular methodology for your other mocks as well. Now, moving further, we've been doing methodical revision through our specific modules in terms of OCADs, which is one concept a day, your value adds and revision, your module tests, and your mock tests that we've been doing for our students. And we've also launched something called as DAWN, which is descriptive analysis writing naturally. So this is something that we're doing for our students. Now, what does it mean for you guys? We'll basically be looking at doing our masterclass for finance, wherein basically we'll be looking at doing a lot of questions for you, giving you a varied exposure to the different types of questions that could possibly come, and that will definitely help you in bettering your preparation and be ready for the D-Day. Next aspect, as far as your new topics are concerned, be it global financial crisis and the Indian response, getting options into the syllabus. Then you talk about your global financial markets and international banking, your fintech, and your other areas in terms of minor tweaks in terms of what's there in union budget as far as your inflation. All these areas needs to be covered from a conceptual standpoint, and also look at possible questions that can appear based on those concepts. So while we have done that for our existing students, what you need to look at is to basically pick out these terms from a credible source, whichever source that you're following right now, and pick out this information and look at the possible questions that can appear based on those concepts. So that's something that you'll have to do on your own. Moving further, it's important for you to get selective as far as the current affairs portion is concerned. We've obviously covered that quite extensively in the sessions conducted by Samir sir around banking awareness and financial awareness. But it's important for you to understand that all of that might not be relevant. What's important to understand is what is more conceptually important. For example, I talk about the fact that your prompt corrective action is definitely something that the RBI looks at doing, and your IDBI bank was basically taken out of it. Now, what's important to understand is not just the fact that IDBI got out of the PCA, but what's also important to understand is which are the other banks under PCA at this point in time. What exactly is prompt corrective action? What are the key elements as far as PCA is concerned? When we talk about net NPAs, we talk about the CRAR and the ROA as the critical elements as far as PCA is concerned. So those are things that you would also need to be aware of, and not just the basic news that is there. So look at selective current affairs, but also look at building your concepts based on the topic that is getting discussed in those current affairs, right? That's important. For example, the other angle to look at is when we talk about NBFC tiering, what exactly happened and what is the thought process behind it. And in light of this, how do we look at NBFCs? What is the classification, so on and so forth? That becomes very critical and very important to understand, right? So those are things that need to be spent time on from a current affairs standpoint, wherein you not only look at the news, but also look at news from the concept basis as well, and further build on from a perspective of writing your own answers, right? That's very, very crucial. Now, from a descriptive standpoint, what exactly needs to be done, right? So obviously you need to write descriptive answers on different topics, and you can also refer to the descriptive masterclass on finance that is already there on YouTube. You'll get an idea. There's also a model answer that has been used there. You have to use questions as a means to get to your answers, right? So whenever you come across any kind of a current affairs topic, or let's say any kind of a static topic that is there in the syllabus, try and frame your questions on that particular topic. Think of what could possibly be the questions that can be asked here, and then think of whether you know the answer or not. And if you do not know the answer, obviously you need to find out those answers. So don't worry, we'll also be doing a few sessions on the descriptive masterclass as well going forward. So you'll need to also look at self-evaluation of your descriptive answers, and looking at both of these, we'll obviously be doing some sessions on the masterclass of Dawn, which is descriptive analysis writing naturally, and these will be finance based questions. We'll be conducting this masterclass for you guys, wherein we'll cover some important topics, and also we'll basically look at giving you self-evaluation tips in terms of how you can look to evaluate your own answers. So that is something which will be done from a descriptive perspective as well. Now coming to another very, very important section, and probably a section which should deserve more attention but gets very less attention. And it should definitely deserve more attention, especially in the context of the return on investment that you get in this. And especially when you look at the next 15 days, what exactly should you be doing? So first things first, you should definitely look at writing one essay every day and a Prezi and an RC every alternate day. Second, you can definitely take help from our RBI Grade B descriptive playlist that's already there on YouTube in terms of how to build content, how to write, and a lot of other elements as well. Another critical angle to look at is basically your self or peer evaluation of your answers. So we will basically do a session on YouTube and guide you in terms of how to look at doing self-evaluations. And based on that, you can definitely look at self-evaluation or even peer evaluations for that matter. And that will give you adequate practice as well from an English descriptive standpoint. So that's in a nutshell what I was looking to cover in today's session, wherein we discussed as to what exactly needs to be done in the next 15 days. And we will continuously engage with you to ensure that you stay on the track as far as this process is concerned and are well prepared for the D-Day on the 1st of April. Now, another important thing which I wanted to highlight before closing is that panic is pointless. Even though the time is limited, many of you might be feeling, is it possible now? Can I still pull it off? All those things, and that self-doubt, there's absolutely no time for that at this stage. Panic is absolutely pointless. Focus on very simple tasks, set yourself targets and ensure that you go ahead and achieve those targets. That's the way in which this needs to be approached. Very methodical, very efficient, and more importantly, very practical. That's very, very crucial as far as the last 15 days of the preparation are concerned. Now, another important aspect that you need to be conscious of is that there will be a lot of time stealers, right? So there will be a lot of things that will seek your attention at this point of time. Ye bhi padh leta hu, ye bhi padh leta hu, wo bhi padh leta hu. So if you start doing that, your entire preparation will again go haywire. So what's important is to make a plan, stick to it religiously, and follow it to the T. If you do that, you'll definitely be able to get more out of these last 15 days than just going helter-skelter and everywhere. That's not going to help you at all. So beware of the time stealers. Panic is pointless. Have that self-belief that if you've made it this far, then you can definitely make it beyond this as well, right? And start dreaming about that dream institution every single night. And believe me, that dream will come true. So on that note, this is Ravi signing off. Have a great day and a wonderful week ahead.